What's going on, everybody? Top 10 Pokemon here. Today I would like to touch on the subject of mistakes in the Pokemon investing world and the mistakes that I have made that I want to pass along to you so that y'all might avoid the same mistakes that I have made. But before we get started, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I think that you will really like today's video. You might even learn a thing or two, so stick around till the end and I'll get through these real quick. Now, these aren't the worst mistakes that you can make in Pokemon, but these are the top mistakes that I have made. I just wanted to emphasize that. There are far graver mistakes that you could make that cost you a lot more money, but these are just the ones that I found that are very common to me that I wanted to pass along to you all. My number one mistake, and these are in no particular order, my number one mistake in investing in Pokemon is selling a card or a box of Pokemon cards that you only have one of. Now let me give you an example. I, at one point, was starting to collect PSA 9 first edition Jungle Hollows. Way back when. Back when they were like $30 for Victory Bell and Electro and a couple others. So I got a few of those, and then other things come up that I wanted to get, and I needed some quick cash, so I thought, you know, I only have like 2 or 3 of these Jungle Hollows. And they're nice, you know, they're first edition 9s or Hollows. But, you know, I'm going to sell these and put them towards something else. So I did. And, you know, later on in the year, I got the brilliant idea. I'm like, you know, it would be a good idea. A complete first edition PSA 9 Jungle Hollow set. Dang, I wish I wouldn't have sold those already. So, and then of course the PSA 9s ended up really increasing in value for a lot of the, well, most sets. And I just catch myself thinking, darn it, I shouldn't have sold those PSA 9s. I only had those. So if you're going to sell a card or a box or cards, make sure it's something that you are not going to want to get back in the future, especially at this point in the market. Don't sell this card or this box thinking, oh, I'll just buy it again later on, because likely if you do buy it later on, you're going to buy it for a whole heck of a lot more than what you previously paid for it. So just keep that in mind. If you sell something if you go to sell a card or a box, make sure that you're probably never going to want it again. All right, mistake number 2 that I have made in the Pokemon investment world is not buying multiples of an item. If you feel that a booster box or a certain card is really going to increase in value or has that really good potential to increase, buy multiples of them. You know, if you see that if you think that the Evolutions booster box is going to increase heavily one day, don't just get one. You know, buy a case. That way, whenever they do increase, you know what? You can sell a box or two, right? Or if you see that a card is going to increase. If you think that a Charizard, a modern day PSA 10 Charizard is really going to increase, don't just get one. Get a few copies so that later on down the road, you can sell a copy or two, but you can always have that one to keep for yourself. You know what I mean? I have many cards in my collection that I only have one of, and I'm always wishing, like, dang, I should have bought a couple of these, and I could have really made bank off of this, and I can't bring myself to sell the cards now because I only have the one. Keep that in mind when you foresee a product or a card increasing heavily in the near future. Mistake number 3 that I have made in the Pokemon investment hobby, and this is probably my greatest one. This has probably happened to me the most, and that is selling a card or a box in order to compensate for money you just spent elsewhere. And what I mean by that is, let's say you have a big old purchase. You spend $3,000 on a booster box, right? You max out a credit card on something. So now, if you're like me, you get into like an urgency mode. Like, I gotta recompensate. I have to sell things to get that paid off. I don't want that debt lingering. What can I sell? What can I sell? That's a dangerous mentality to be in, and I've been there so many times. I will sell something, or I will buy something, and then I'm frantically looking to try to make up for that. And I'm telling you, stop. Stand back, take a deep breath, and take your time. Don't rush to try to sell things that you will later on regret. Here is a prime example. I bought, about a year and a half ago, I think it was, 4 or 5, no, it was 5 first edition Lugia holographics from Neo Genesis from Troll and Toad. They labeled it as near mint. I bought 5 of them, and they were $99 a piece. Now let me tell you that on Troll and Toad today, they are out of stock, and their last price they had listed was $999 for that card. So I bought all 5 cards for $500, and I got them. And this is the time in the hobby where if it wasn't a PSA 10, it wasn't worth grading. You know, so as you know, if you ever bought from Troll and Toad, a lot of the times your idea of near mint isn't their idea of near mint. So when I got these cards, I'm looking through them, and they were like maybe 6s, 7s, possibly an 8, and I'm like, you know what? I'll send a few back to Troll and Toad. I'll keep a few and see where it goes from there. Well, later on in the year, those Lugias on Troll and Toad went down to like $74.99 a card. So it dropped even more, and I was panicking because I'm like, my gosh, you know what? These Lugias aren't worth grading, even though nowadays they are worth grading, and I should have kept all 5, and I should have graded all 5. I didn't, and I ended up selling all the Lugias. I broke even, I think. I might have broken even from the money that I spent initially, but if I would have just kept those cards and graded those cards, I would have made thousands of dollars because that card blew up. So the moral of the story is, if you don't try to hurry up and sell to try and make your money back or to try and pay things off. Really analyze it, really take a step back and take some time before you rush to judgment. Number 4 mistake that I have made when buying Pokemon cards, and this is another big one for me, and that is not buying a specific card or box because it was too expensive at the time. Oh! For those of you who've watched my videos, you know there's a couple that come to mind, and that is, well, first off, the base set PSA 10 Unlimited Raichu. I went to get this card, I forget, it was less than a year ago. I went to get this card in a PSA 10, and it got like $400. I'm like, no, there's no way I'm paying $400 for this card. That was a record price at the time. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna stand back and I'm gonna wait for it to get lower than that, because I was really good at that. I was really good at getting Pokemon cards for under market value. Well, let me tell you what, folks, it is a cold day in hell when you actually get cards or product under market value, especially in today's Pokemon economy. So anyway, yeah, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna get this card below $400. Well, the next auction that come through for that card, $600. Did I get it? Nope. The next auction that come through, $1,000. So long story short, I am still chasing this Raichu card when I could have very well purchased it back when it was $400 or even less. So what I want to get across here is, if you have a card that you really want for your collection, or you want a box or whatever it is for your collection, and you really want it to complete that collection, or you just want that card, get it. Just get the card, you know, because the way this hobby is moving, you might not be able to. A year ago, a PSA 10 base set Unlimited Charizard seemed very feasible. That seemed very realistic to go buy, right? You wouldn't think that today it's completely unrealistic for most people, with it being over $30,000 and all now. So yeah, if you really want something in this hobby, go get it, because you never know what it's going to be tomorrow. The 5th and final mistake that I have made in Pokemon investing is not listening to top 10 Pokemon. I can't tell you how many times I've had these rules in my head that I knew, don't sell this, don't, wait, you need to buy more of these, don't sell that, and then I don't listen to myself, and then I'm kicking myself in the butt later on. Listen to these rules that I'm telling you right now, and check out my other videos when I talk about other sets and other product and other boxes and what I think is going to increase, because let me tell you what, a couple months ago I did a video on the underrated Pokemon card sets, and this puppy right here was on it, and everybody said, there's no way, that set was printed into the ground, blah, 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 blah. Well, now it's 5 times as much. So I should have listened to myself back then and bought even more than I did. Yeah, listen to TTP. He knows a thing or two. Thank you everybody for watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you who watches. Please give this video a thumbs up. Check out my next video coming out soon. and I will see you then. Thank you.